Good morning, everybody. Welcome on this bright and sunny Sunday, or soon to be bright and sunny Sunday. As you can see, I am not Anthony Young. I am filling in. My name is Joe. And let us take a breath together and sing, Are You Ready to Receive? Are you ready to receive? Are you ready to receive? Are you ready to receive the gift of the Spirit? I am ready to receive. I am ready to receive. I am ready to receive the gifts of the Spirit. Are you ready to be healed? Are you ready to be healed? Are you ready to be healed from the gifts of the Spirit? I am ready to be healed. I am ready to be healed. I am ready to be healed from the gifts of the Spirit. I am ready to receive. I am ready to receive. I am ready to receive the gifts of the universe. Thank you. Now, change my page. Let us turn within and join in an opening prayer. As we open to that higher power, we are open to that divine energy that surrounds us, that shines through us, and that is deep within us. We come together today, open and receptive to what Spirit would have us hear, open and receptive to new questions, new insights, new beginnings. We give thanks for this time together in one heart, one mind, and one power. And so it is. Amen. Okay, now please join me in a little bit more energetic song, one that we've sung before, and it's called It's Up to Me. It's up to me to change the song. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If I seek the truth, let me speak the truth. If I'm lost in doubt, let me believe. I know I can be the change I want to see. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If I'm tired and stressed, let me stop and rest. If I'm feeling hurt, let me forgive. I know I can be the change I want to see. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If I dream of peace, let me be the peace. When I start from love, I am love. I know I can be the change I want to see. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, no, it's up to me. You know it's up to me. You know it's up to me. Thank you. Now here is Denise Suma.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Lehigh Valley. My name is Denise, and I am delighted to be assisting David Roth this morning. We are grateful Spirit has led you here through Facebook Live or here in our sanctuary. As a reminder, we are open to the public now, so if you feel comfortable, please join us any Sunday right here in the sanctuary. But we will continue our live streaming as well. Our statements of affirmation. Our affirmative statements express our Unity denominational statement of belief, as well as the vision and mission of Unity of Lehigh Valley. As I introduce each of our affirmative statements, I invite you to consider joining me in speaking the statement aloud. We hope you also share in the vision and mission for this ministry. What Unity believes. There is only one presence, one power, one activity in my life and in the universe, God, the good, omnipotence. The vision Unity of Lehigh Valley holds for the world. We co-create an awakened world of peace, harmony, and abundance. The mission that is ours to do. United in love, we provide a positive environment for all people to discover and express their spiritual nature. Now for the daily word, Karen Espenson will read the daily word.
Good morning, beautiful people. The daily word for today, April 25th, is thankful. Thankfulness is my heart's natural expression. I need no special reason to be thankful. No list of blessings to inspire gratitude. Unity author Reverend Eric Butterworth wrote, "One can be grateful with the same spontaneity as being happy. It simply flows forth from within and becomes a causative energy." With a thankful mind and heart, I release worry and frustration, trusting that my every need will be met. I discover more of God's presence in myself and others everywhere I go. I see possibilities for good, even in challenging circumstances. Eager to share my thankfulness, I welcome opportunities to be of service to others, just as I gratefully accept blessings shared with me. I live in the flow of life, love, peace, and abundant beauty. I am thankful. And from 1 Thessalonians 5:18, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Karen and Denise. Now please join me in singing our congregational song, an old chestnut of ours called The Greatest Thing. The greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. The greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. I want to know you more. I want to know you more. The greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. The greatest thing in all my life is loving you. The greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. I want to love you more. I want to love you more. The greatest thing in all my life is loving you. The greatest thing in all my life is serving you. The greatest thing in all my life is serving you. I want to serve you more. I want to serve you more. The greatest thing in all my life is serving you. Thanks everybody for joining me. And now I'd like to introduce one of favorites of ULV, David Roth.
Hey, very good morning to you all. So nice to be here. And I can just picture some of you in that sanctuary. I was looking at my notes. I'm a kind of a note nerd with my computer, and I found out this morning that the first time I sang in that sanctuary was almost, get ready, 25 years to the date. It was April 28th, 1996, when I had dark hair, a lot fewer songs, and a lot less to say. So thank you for having me back. It feels like my silver anniversary, and I'm very grateful to be with you. And I love leading into this service with that song, The Greatest Thing, by Mark Pendergrass. What a great, great song that is. And my talk today is called The Power of Yes. A lot of negativity floating around in the world, but the seed for this talk, it's a sermon and song or message with music, whatever you might like to call it, comes from that automatic response that I found myself getting over the years, where someone asks me a question and my first gut is no, no, no. And the song samples I'm going to use to illustrate this morning started a few years ago here on Cape Cod, where I'm living. I'm broadcasting to you from world headquarters of David Roth Music in Orleans, Massachusetts this morning. A few years back, I was invited to a low-income housing community by its director, who was familiar with my music. And he called me up one day and he said, "Hey, David, I've been coming to your open mics and I love what you're doing. And I've got the director of a low-income housing community here on the Cape." Yes, we have them. And I wonder if you'd consider coming out to do a songwriting workshop with some of my teenagers. You know, they're at risk right now for falling into a lot of traps that kids fall into these days: drugs, alcohol, violence. And this is him talking. "I thought if they could maybe spend a couple hours with you, it might be of value." And my immediate reaction, my first thought was, old folk singer, baby boomer. Teenagers, bad combination. So my gut reaction was no. And so when my mouth opened up, I said to this man, John, I said, "You know, John, I'm a very positive person, but I have to be honest with you. When I hear the words teenagers and folk music, the first phrase that comes out of my mouth is, yes, I'll do it." And I had to look at my mouth for a minute. And he said, this is over the phone, he said, "Did you say yes?" And I said, "Absolutely." And still my intellect was trying to override my heart. And he says, "Well, I thought you'd say no." I said, "Well, why would you think that?" And he said, "Well, that's great." So we set up the songwriting workshop for around Thanksgiving that year. And about a week before, he called back and said, "Hey, I've got 14 teenagers signed up for your workshop." And I thought, oh boy, fantastic. And when I showed up that day, there were 15 chairs in a circle in the common room of this low-income housing community, and not one of the teenagers showed up. However, the chairs were full. The preteens, ages 6 through 12, had heard there was going to be some music in the day room, and they didn't have a lot of activities there. And every seat was full, but the kids weren't sitting in, they were on the edge of their seats. When I walked in, "Are you the music man?" One of them said. I said, "Yes, I am." And they said, "What are we going to do today?" I said, "Well, my name's David. Would you like to spend the next hour writing a song together?" And 14 kids, how many hands do you think went up? Exactly 28. They were all over this, and I loved them immediately, because here were a bunch of kids that didn't have a lot of resources. Some of them didn't have one parent or two parents, lived with friends, families, relatives, whatever. But they could still step out of the frame that they were in to see a bigger picture. So I loved them immediately, and I said, would you guys like to write a song about how to make the world a better place? And they said, "Yeah, that sounds great." So that's what we did. In less than an hour, we put this song together, and I'm going to invite you to sing this song with me. And if you're lucky enough to be sharing your Zoom room with somebody this morning, or in the sanctuary, you could look at them right now and say, "I can't wait to hear you sing with David." Do that for me right now. Yeah. So it's a call and response. You don't have to know the song. You just sing back what I sing. And this is what me and these 14 beautiful pre-teenagers put together. I might stop a couple times to show you how we illustrated the phenomenon of rhyming. Here we are, here today, here to sing, here to play, make this world a better place for me and you and the human race. If you had a bad day, you can turn it around, play some tunes, crank up the sound, hand in hand, lost and found, turn your frown upside down. Oh, know that we can be ourselves. Now, this is the first place we stopped. I said, that's a really nice, what a great word for self-realization. Know that we can be ourselves, but we got to find a word that rhymes with selves, kids. And I said, I'm going to need a minute right now. And they said, no, Mr. Roth. I said, call me David. We got this. And so I sang, know that we can be ourselves. They sang, wizards, fairies, ninjas, warlocks, and elves. 14 kids, pretty neat. Let's write this song, and then let's eat. Let's have some fun in the sun. Love our world, love our town. Let's go green, save the bees, save the world, save the trees. Oh, let's have some chicken pot pie. Oh, there's a nice word to rhyme with, kids. What are we going to rhyme with pie? And they said sky, I, my. And then I said, not quite there. And then one little fellow wearing glasses, I'll never forget seeing him racing. I said, Mr. Roth. I said, call me David. He said, I got this. And he delivered one of the greatest lines of any song I have ever heard. So I sang, let's have some chicken pot pie. He sang, we'll have lunch with the FBI. Then we can fly in the sky. My, oh my, everybody, FBI. And here we see a turkey giving thanks for you and me, 'cause we won't eat him today. Vegetarian's okay. Move around a disco dance. take a risk and take a. May you have a perfect feast, and may our world have perfect peace. Here we are, here today, here to sing, here to play, make this world a better place for me and you and the human race. For me and you and the human race. Right here on Earth, in outer. For me and you and the human race. Isn't that a great song? I love that song. Call it the FBI song, but it's really called Here We Are. And isn't that the truth? Here we are. Or as I learned from Byron Katie, the only way to suffer is to live in the past or the future, but only 100% of the time. That's what she says. Inviting me to inhabit the present moment as much as possible. Here we are. So the songwriting workshop with the preteens was a smashing success. And about a month later, I heard the phone ring again here at World Headquarters. And it was John, the director, who said, "Hey, Dave, kids are still buzzing about that workshop." And I said, "I am too, John. It was really fun, and I love the song, and I've been singing it for years." And he said, "Yeah." And then he said, "The teenagers heard about it." And he's originally from New York, though living on Cape Cod. And these were his exact words. He says, "Yeah." He said, "Now they want a piece of the action." I said, "Oh, what do you mean, John?" He says, "Well, one of the local papers here on the Cape is offering a cash reward, $200 or $300, as I recall, for the best original song about affordable housing, which is extremely rare, if almost non-existent here on Cape Cod, sadly." And he said, "3 of my teenagers have written some amazing poems, and they asked me if I could contact you to see if they could be put into songs." Now, a poem is not necessarily automatically a song lyric just because you add music to it. But he sent me the poems, and I said, "John, I'll take a look at them. I can't promise, but if I'm inspired in some way, I'll see what I can do." So he sent me the poems of Matthew Stewart, Shaylin Blaine, and Jenna Santos, and I remember those 3 teenagers' names because the poems were remarkable. They were filled with truth and vulnerability and no icing or window dressing or mindless optimism. They were all very real and raw, and I wrote to John back. I said, "John, these are amazing. I'd like to try to do something with them, but there's not one molecule of hope in here at all. I'd like to put just a little bit of possibility in, not, as I said, mindless optimism, but mindful intention." And he said, "Well, go ahead." And I said, "I'll send it to you. And if any of them don't like it, we'll leave it here." And so I put a melody together in chords, and I added one word to the chorus at the end of the chorus, which became the title of the song. And I sent him a rough recording, and he called me back and said, "They love it. Now they want to record it. Got any ideas, Dave?" "Sure I do, John. Yes." There it was again. He said, "What's your idea?" I said, "Why don't you bring them over to World Headquarters of David Roth Music next week, my house?" He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, we'll record the song that day." He said, "Truly?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Yes." So the next week, we'd set up a recording session in this very room, which is tiny and full of stuff, but this is where I do some recording. And I've made several of my last few albums right in here. Jenna, Matthew, and Shaylin didn't show up for the recording session of this song. But the younger kids who co-wrote the FBI song, about 5 or 6 of them showed up, and they piled in here, and I taught them this new song that I'd written with Matthew, Jenna, and Shaylin, and they sang it 2 times through at the top of their lungs in no particular key, which is the way I think singing should be done. It was so beautiful. They were just singing, from the bottom of their toes with everything they had. And it's one of the most beautiful recordings of people singing together I've ever heard. And if you would like me to send you an email of that recording, just drop me an email at davidrothmusic@gmail.com. davidrothmusic@gmail.com, and I'll send you an MP3 of these kids singing the song that I wrote with those 3 teenagers, which I loved so much I put it on my album called Rhubarb Trees with my dear friend Ann Hills, who lives right there in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. My folks live in the bedroom with a crib beside their bed. I'm out here on the sofa with my sister. This cottage may be small, but it's home to us all. We appreciate everything we have. My wish for my family and me, to have a home like other people do. Sometimes I feel like it's not meant to be, but everything that happens makes me stronger. And now in the front yard we find the landlord put up a for sale sign. Goodbye, Cape Cod. My mother looks so sad. She holds her head in both her hands. But I can help her, yes I can. And I can also help my dad. My wish for my family and me, to have a home like other people do. Sometimes I feel like it's not meant to be, but everything that happens makes me stronger. A home is like a castle. It's like you won some lottery, from nothing up to something. A place where I sleep soundly. A roof over our heads, food on our plates. Mom and Dad are making sacrifices every day, so we can all be together in one home. We appreciate everything we have. My wish for my family and me, to have a home like other people do. Sometimes I feel like it's not meant to be, but everything that happens makes me stronger. Sometimes I feel like it's not meant to be, but everything that happens I love that song, and Matthew, Jenna, and Shaylin loved it too, which is why we green lighted it. And two things about that song, post composition, if you would. I recorded it on my album with Ann, so I got to give Matthew, Jenna, and Shaylin a little royalty check every once in a while. Mind you, a folk music royalty check, much more symbolic than substantive, but something. You know, moving a mountain sometimes involves taking a teaspoon of dirt at a time. And the other thing I want to say is, just because we put the song together, you know, I did some follow-up with them through my friend John, and none of them was doing particularly well a year or so later. So, you know, I'm not thinking that a song can save the world or necessarily make a big difference, but if it can make a small difference somewhere along the way, it's still something worth doing, I believe. And that's all because I said yes. You know, when no would have been a lot easier, would have made a lot more sense, and would have, you know, allowed me to repeat my patterns of familiarity rather than take a chance and boldly go. So I'm going to get 2 more songs, if I can, into this sermon and song. This is another yes that could have been a no when I was invited to lunch on Martin Luther King Jr. Sunday, Dr. King's holiday, several years ago in Florida. That morning, my sermon and song was called We Have a Dream. And a friend of mine works as an advocate for people with different abilities, and 2 of her clients/friends wanted to have lunch with me after the service. And I said, okay. And I had lunch with Mary Jo Perrone and Carol Rudinsky. Mary Jo was born with developmental disability, and Carol was born with cerebral palsy. And by the time we had this lunch, a few years ago, they were both in their late 50s like I was. And I said, ladies, it's so nice to be with you. And I know that you asked Robbie, our friend, to have lunch with me. Was there anything you wanted to ask me? And after a little bit of prodding, Mary Jo finally said, we want you to write a song for us. What kind of song are you looking for, ladies? And then after a little bit more prodding and some awkward silence, Carol, the one who had the most difficulty speaking because of her CP, said, we're really tired of how people make fun of us all our lives, everywhere we go, because of the way we look. She said that a lot slower and with a lot more effort. But I understood exactly what she meant. And I said, tell me more. And 2 hours later, I had their song, because there was a yes in there instead of a no. And I made them co-writers on the song, so that when that CD came out, they saw their names right next to mine. A great source of pride, and more importantly, a link to our ongoing and continuing to this day relationship, my relationship as friends with Mary Jo and Carol down in Florida. So here's what we wrote. Mary Jo got a job down at the fast food joint. She was happy for the work. Mary Jo was put on fries. She's been making them for years. This is her specialty. Mary's special, very special. When you're making fries, you see a lot of people. You get to be up front, right by the counter. You get to talk to customers. You get to look outside. And Mary Jo delighted in her job. The new manager they got was someone younger. It didn't seem this person understood that Mary Jo was just a little different, but as good as any worker that this place had ever had. One day the boss told Mary Jo to make the Happy Meals and sent her to the back part of the store. And this person also used the word retarded. The meals weren't so happy anymore. Mary Jo says, all I really want to be treated just like everybody else. Consider my abilities. I'm competent, I work hard, and I help. Carol is another special person. Compassionate and friendly, creative, fun and kind. But she never liked a single day of school. Kids made fun of her, they made fun of her. But when she grew up, she felt it was important to make a difference for people just like her. So Carol told their story to a singer, so he could sing their story to the world. Carol says, all I really want to be treated just like everybody else. Consider my abilities. I am competent, I work hard and I help. Mary Jo and Carol are good friends, and they do things together, just like you and me. So if you ever see someone who's making fun of people like 'em, think who has the disability. Thank you for your kind attention this morning. I look forward to the time when we can be together in person. And for those of you in the sanctuary, I'm a little jealous. But now is still and continues for me to be the time to be respectful, careful, and cautious. So thank you again to Joe, Karen, Denise, and Anthony for helping put this together. And I'm going to finish up with this one. Maybe this is kind of a summary of the whole thing I've kind of been talking about, but I hope that the next time you get an automatic no, that you might consider the possibility of yes. I'm glad I did that thing I didn't think I would. When I said yes instead of no, it came out pretty good. I'm glad I took that option. I'm glad I didn't run. When I said yes instead of no, I even had some fun. I'm glad I was agreeable instead of shutting down. That would have been my former self who had not been around. I saw what could be possible in filling up my cup. When I said yes instead of no, my world just opened up. I'm really glad the word I said was yes. I'm really glad the word I said was yes. When I think of all the things I might have missed, I'm really glad the word I said was yes. I'm glad you set your sights on me and how you've helped me grow, and all the things you've shared along the way I didn't know. In spite of my resistance and all my stubborn ways, I circumnavigated them, and here we are today. Here we go now. I'm really glad the word I said was yes. Sing that with me. I'm really glad the word I said was yes. When I think of all the things I might have missed, I'm really glad the word I said was yes. The world is filled with naysayers, don't you know? Well, I've become a yay-sayer, so here we go. I'm glad I did that thing I didn't think I would. When I said yes instead of no, it came out really good. I'm glad I took that option. I'm glad I didn't hide. When I said yes instead of no, oh, what a wild ride. Here we go now. I'm really glad the word I said was yes. I'm really glad the word I said was yes. When I think of all the things I might have missed, I'm really glad the word I said was yes. I'm really glad the word I said was yes. Yes. And so we are.
Thank you, David. Now is the time in our service when we have the opportunity to share our gifts of love. We bless the gifts we hold in our hands by affirming together, the activity of Spirit through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Now for the announcements. Hang in there, we're almost done. The core value we celebrate for the month of April is spiritual growth. Trusting the wisdom within each one, our paths unfold and lead us to accept a deeper understanding of the powerful love that we are. Our prayer chaplains continue to be active. Whether you have a joy to multiply or a sorrow to divide, our prayer chaplains join you in prayer. If you have a desire to speak with a chaplain, please contact Karen in the office. Reverend Sandy is also available for prayer support. You can email at the bottom of your screen, unitylv@rcn.com to schedule a call. You can also call 1-800-NOW-PRAY to reach a prayer partner at Silent Unity. Our gratitudes for today. Thank you to David Roth for his uplifting message this morning. Thank you to Ginny Stangline for being the platform assistant last week. And thank you to Karen Espenson for reading the Daily Word today. If you are grateful for something at ULV or have something to celebrate and you'd like to see it in the weekly email, just send a note to the office by Tuesday of each week. Reverend Sandy is teaching a class on consciousness of abundance, utilizing the book by Eric Butterworth, Spiritual Economics, on Wednesday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., April 28th through May 26th. See our Wednesday email for details on how to register online, or you can email and Karen will send you a link. Unity of Lehigh Valley continues to incur routine bills. Your continued gifts assure the ongoing work that we do in maintaining our building. There is a donate button at the top navigation bar of our website where you can pay through PayPal, mail a check directly to ULV, or set up a weekly or monthly payment from your bank. Please contact the office if you have questions on how to get your donation to the church. Even though we are open to the public without reservations for our services on Sundays, we are still inviting congregants to record themselves on their phone reading the daily word, since not everyone is able to gather with us in the sanctuary. Please contact the office at unitylv@rcn.com if you would like to participate. Details are in our weekly email. You can also contact Karen in the office, again, at the email address, to be put on the schedule. If you do not receive the daily word, Karen will send you the text for that day. Please join us next Sunday as we welcome back Reverend Sandy Butler. Now for an announcement which is near and dear to my heart. We are in the midst of seeking our new permanent senior minister. Let's join together to affirm our right and perfect minister will appear to us easily. Filled with the spirit of divine love and wisdom, we are guided and directed in our thoughts, our words, and our actions as we move towards the employment of the right minister for the highest good of this ministry. And so it is. Thank you, God.
Okay, thank you, Denise, and thank you for Bill and Alicia in the back that nobody can see, but are keeping it together back there. Anthony will be back next week, but I'll be here again next week to do a special song, just special plug. Now, please join me in singing our peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, brothers and sisters, all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Live every step I take. Let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. May peace prevail in hearts and minds of all beings. And so it is. Thank you.